Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet, where we talk about everything that is yarn and crochet related. So today I'm going to be doing a yarn review. I do have a tutorial for this hat. If you go to my channel page, you can find it underneath my hat playlist, or you can just go to YouTube and type in crochet stitch sampler beanie Bagoday and it should pop up. So yes, it's called the stitch sampler beanie. I don't have a tutorial for that blanket. That was a gift from my good friend Gary from Urban Yarns. Be sure to check him out. Now today I'm doing a yarn review on a new yarn from Lion Brand. Now before I start, please remember I am wearing a Lion Brand shirt, but I am in no way affiliated with Lion Brand yarns at all. I purchased this yarn myself and I do not have affiliated links. I do not care one bit whether you buy the yarn or not. I'm only wearing the shirt because I like Lion Brand, but I'm reviewing their yarn and I just seen this shirt and I'm like, well, I'll just wear their shirt since I'm reviewing their yarn. Plus it matches my hat. Anyways, so just know that it's, you know, I'm just, this is non-affiliated, non-sponsored review, and as always my reviews are just personal opinion based, so you know, if you know, they can always be different than yours, and I always recommend that no matter what I say about this yarn here, you buy a ball and try it out for yourself. Could be the best yarn that you've ever had, or the worst, you never know, right? Let's talk about it. Alright, so this is Lion Brand's newest yarn. Today is 9/24/2023. It is a new addition to their Landscapes line. Lion Brand Landscapes Renewed. So if you're familiar with their regular Landscapes, it's a roving style yarn that's shiny, and they've had a couple additions to their Landscapes, I believe. I know one of them got discontinued because, I mean, sorry if you're watching the Lion Brand, but it sucked. And then I think one of them might still be available. But anyways, here's their newest one. So why don't we go and read about it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Knit it up, crochet it up. I put it in a washer and dryer as per instructions, so you can see, you know, what it looks like after that. And then I'll tell you my final thoughts about it. So, Lion Brand Landscapes Renewed. It says contains recycled polyester for sustainable stitching. So it's 5.3 ounces, 150 grams, 212 meters or 232 yards. It's 75% polyester, and then 25% of it is recycled polyester. So 25% of it is the recycled aspect of it, and 75% of it is just regular polyester. So it is just a polyester yarn. It says that you can machine wash on gentle and tumble dry. Made in China. And what else can I tell you about it? Oh, hook size recommendation 5.5 millimeter, which is an I for crochet. And knitting needle is a 5.5 knitting needle, which is a 9 for knitting. Now they're classifying this as a they're classifying this as a medium weight number 4. Alright, so why don't we talk about that? I am going to show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. Okay. Where can I begin? Because I've already run all the tests and I already know what I think about it. So why don't we just talk? We'll just talk. Okay, on their website, it says it's the latest addition to the beautiful landscape family. You know, 75 polyester, 25 consumer recycled polyester, and it's classified as a CYC medium weight number 4 or roving yarn. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So CYC stands for Craft Yarn Council. Lion Brand always uses that to gauge the weight of their yarn. I do not think the I don't think I'm alone in saying this. I do not think that the Craft Yarn Council is always correct. if you would ask me my personal opinion on this yarn after working with it and using it on the knitting machine, I would have classified it as a bulky weight number 5. Personal opinion though, remember these are personal based. I can say though that it did go from thick to thin in some spots, but there you go. I believe that most of you would probably be in agreement with me. That is more of a bulky 5 than it is a 4. But whatever, you know, as I said, might be some spots that it hits a 4, but even when it hits a 4, I think it's an extremely thick 4. So I think the classification, even though it's correctly classed by the Craft Yarn Council, I think it's misclassified. It should have been a bulky 5. Just opinion based. Opinion based. Don't hate me, Lion Brand. All right. Now, as far as it feels, it's super duper soft. You know, but that's because it's polyester. I mean, it's super soft. Extremely soft. Like, you know, it feels like a. Have you ever felt? You felt polyester yarns before? Maybe similar to. I can't explain it. It's just soft. It's a soft yarn. I mean, it's pretty soft. Definitely scarfable. I'd make anything out of it and wear it against my skin. You know, if you did make a blanket out of it, definitely you could cover up with it and it would be super snuggly and soft. It's a soft yarn. Gotta give it that. Now it says they're classifying it as a roving yarn. Okay, that's another thing I will mention there. Now, although they're classifying it as a roving style, again, you know, I could be wrong. I'm only just telling you my personal opinion. I think it's more of a blown yarn. Now, if you know what like a blown yarn is, if you look closely, you can see. Let me zoom in here so you can see it. Now, at first appearance, I guess it would appear to be roving because, you know, it kind of looks like that. But at closer look of it, you can look inside and see that it's blown. And what I mean by that is they take a hollow, like, you can see it up close when I pull it apart, that's what they did. A hollow, like, tube that's similar in chain construction, similar to chain spun, I guess, but it's not chain spun. Similar, I guess. It's like a hollow tube of a meshy material, and then they blow the fibers through it. So that's like a blown style of yarn. In first appearance, it could appear to be a roving, and also when you look closer, it could appear to be a chain spun. I guess either of those you could say, but I think if you want to be correct about it, it is appearing to be a blown yarn, not neither chain spun nor roving. So when I pull it apart, you can see that there was a hollow tube, see, of chain mesh material. See it? You can see it clearly. That was a hollow tube of a chain spun like material, and then they blew the fibers through it, and then some of the fibers pop out of that chain material and gives it that fuzz. So, you know, whatever. They're saying it's roving. Some people will say it's chain spun. I think it's blown, but you could clearly see that is a blown yarn. It's, I guess you could classify it as a roving. I mean, they're saying it's a roving. Whatever, it's a roving. No, I wouldn't say that because roving is different. Roving's so different. Roving is not blown through a chain like that. See that chain in there? The roving is not blown through a hollow chain. It's a solid strand, and you can like pull roving apart, and it just comes out into just like, you know, loose fibers. This you can't because it's inside of a mesh chain, hollow tube. So no matter how hard you try to pull, it's not going to come out like a roving style. It would just, you know, come apart in your hands. But whatever. I'm just reading what Lion Brand said. Like, this is my opinion. I think it's a blown yarn. But not roving, but go by what they say. They say it's roving. They know more than me. They're a yarn company. Okay. It's designed to inspire while also being eco-friendly. Now remember, it is only 25% eco-friendly, 75% is just regular polyester. And it says this 3.5 ounce ball boasts 260 yards. Woo. Okay, giving you an ample material for garments and accessories sets alike. But don't stop there. Each colorway is a unique masterpiece, blending artistic flair with the allure of the nature's palette. All right, well, you have 6 colors available. Six. All right, I got one of them. So this right here is called a Desert Spring. I thought it was really pretty, the color. And they have one that's similar in blue, a blackish to gray, purpley one, a rainbow one, and then a green. The green reminds me of another one of their yarns. So does the purple. The color, the way it looks, the color, I don't know. Anyways, you know, yarns start to look alike after a while. You know, there's only so much you can do with yarn before it all becomes the same. All right, so I told you the specs. I told you everything about it. Now the price is on the regular $10.99. Yeah, that's for that. That's for that boasting 260 yards of $10.99. Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk about that in a bit. Let's look how it crochets, how it looks knitted, and how it looks washed and dried. As per instructions, it says I could do it. All right. It says it here and on their website. It said I could do it. I did it just like it said. Let's go check it out. All right, so why don't we look at the knitted sample first. So I ran this through my knitting machine because I can't knit, so you guys could see what it looked like. As far as maybe give you a little bit of an idea of what it looks like coming out in, you know, the colors. Now, I do think the color came out quite well. Look at that. It's kind of a gradual gradient effect, you know. You could definitely see where the color changes, but it blends quite well, I think. I don't think it's bad. Here is actually where it started, a different color with a knot. Now that was the only ball that did that. I have 4 balls and I checked them all, and that was the only one that actually started a new color with a knot. I think that was just, you know, maybe the end of the ball, mill ball at the run or something, and they had to tie a new color on it. I don't know what happened, but none of the other ones were like that. They were all seamlessly transitioned in the color. So I think it's quite beautiful knitted up. I think the color transition on this particular color that I have, I didn't do the other ones, but looks quite well. It feels very, very soft. I mean, extremely soft. And you can definitely see the stitch definition quite well when you look at it. All right. Now I did crochet with it. Let's look at it. So I did use their recommended hook size of the good old 5.5 hook. So you can see that I did some bobbles, and the stitch definition is great on them as well. I mean, you can really see them. Now I had no trouble at all crocheting with this, right? You know why? Because it's a blown yarn. And it really doesn't come out of that when you look at it. You see the chain? See the chain stuff? It was a hollow chain of some type of mesh, and they blew the fibers through it. And you can see some of the fibers came out of the chain formation. That's normal with the blown yarn. But yarns like this are known, they will not split on you. They're not going to split. Now, if this was a roving, like they said, a roving can split. This yarn won't split because of the way that it's spun. So, crocheting with it is actually quite a dream. It's very nice. I had no problem whatsoever crocheting with it. It never snagged. It never split. It just glides right through your hook, which is very very, very nice, I guess, as you can see. See how easy that is? And like I said, you can see the stitch definition on it quite well. The bobbles are very visible. So if you was to make anything with cables, bobbles, puffs, or anything, any stitch that you wanted to show off, I think this would be a great yarn to do that with. I don't think that this type of yarn will have a lot of drape. I don't think it would be suited for if you wanted a like drapey shawl or a drapey top. I don't think it would be best suited for that particular thing, but I think that it does have its purposes, which I'll tell you here in just a minute. So as you can see, this piece right here was just crocheted by me not long ago. Now I have a piece that I crocheted the exact same hook with the exact same stitches. I put it in a washer on gentle as per instructions and into the dryer on low heat as per instructions. All right, now the color will be a bit different because it was a different part of the ball. See, it's going to be the lighter color, so pay no mind to the color. But I thought that it probably wouldn't fare well in the dryer and the washer. Maybe the washer, but I didn't think it would fare well in the dryer, even on low heat. And I just don't think it did. Now, I know a lot of people say polyester doesn't shrink. I'm one of those people that say it does, only from personal experience. So remember, this was the exact same size as this, made with the exact same stitches and the exact same hook. And then I washed it as per instructions, cold water, low heat dry, gentle cycle, and this is what it looks like coming out of the dryer. So it started to peel, started to fluff. It's not as soft anymore, which was kind of surprising to me. I really thought it would keep the softness, but then again I thought about, you know, it does have some fuzz. Maybe I kind of just did a little bit of number on that fuzz that's hanging off of it. But anyways, now I'm going to put the two together. Remember, these were they were the exact same size, exact same stitches. Polyester shrinks. Now you could find, a lot of people will say that it does not. But it does shrink. See, I can line these, oh, just perfect, perfectly up with each other. And I promise you, exact same stitches, you can look at the rows and count them. It is shrunk. See that? The side shrunk a bit, not a lot, not as much as the top did, but it did shrink. Just to show you, I got the row of double here and the row of double here, a bobble here, a bobble here. There are 3 rows of double, 1, 2, 3, 3 rows of double, 1, 2, 3, row of bobbles, row of bobbles, row of doubles, row of doubles, and a row of single, So yes, it did shrink in the more likely the dryer. So I think their washing instructions are not correct. You can see it's fuzzing up a lot here. It's coming. That's off the yarn there. That's like that that tube that I talked about. That's like they blow the yarn through. That's a piece of it came undone and it's fuzzed up, and I don't know. It just feels like a little bit not as soft as it does here. I think that it'd be okay to put in a washer on cold. I do think that, but I think putting it in the dryer would be a mistake. So you know, I'll let you just, you know, you can use your best judgment on that, but not washed, not dried. Washed and dried, it's kind of, you know, buckling up on itself. You can see how it comes out the dryer. And exactly. And it shrinks. All right. So that's that. So you've seen, oh, let's do the pull part test. I think it's going to come out quite well. Generally these type of yarns, even though it does have the fuzz on it, it's minimal on the outside. Sometimes they can hang up on themselves, I guess, but I'm not really expecting it too much with this yarn. But you know what? Sometimes yarns surprise me. Sometimes I get the yarns I think is going to get hung up instantly, and then it'll go all the way through. So let's see what happens. We'll know the test when it hits some bobbles. Because this is a nice test to do. You know, you make a mistake, no one wants a yarn that gets hung up on itself, right? Well, I don't. I would imagine it's going to perform well on this test, but you know what? Like I said, I'm wrong quite a bit. It's fine. I don't even have to go through the whole thing. It's not going to hang up on itself, but I do want to show you one difference of the yarn since I'm in this room. I'm sorry that my video is so long. I just don't understand how they classify this as a roving style, being as the way it looks is not roving at all. I mean, I guess at first glance you might think that, but there you go. It's going to come out. So right here we have a roving. Okay, this is carrot cake. You can see that the roving is just spun up, and you can pull it straight apart, and it comes out in little fibers. See that? That's roving. That's how it works. This, you can see, definitely see that it's blown into that chain, that mesh chain. And no matter how hard you pull, unless you break that mesh chain, it's not going to come undone like a roving yarn. See? I'm pulling tight too. Now that roving, it comes right apart if you do that. Because there's no mesh holding it together, see? It's just loose fibers spun up into a strand. So, that's just a difference there. But anyways, let's go back to... Alright, I'm back. Lion Brand Landscapes renewed. What does Bagoday think? Okay, I'll tell you the pros and the cons. All right, real quick. Okay, I'm gonna make it quick. Quick. We'll start with the cons. This is personal opinion. Personal opinion. I think they misclassified the weight. It should have been a bulky 5. I don't think they should have said it's a roving because it's not a roving. It's a blown yarn. I do not think they said that you could wash and dry it, but obviously because you cannot put it in a dryer. It shrinks and it looks like crap when it comes out. I think maybe putting it in the washer by itself, you know, and then laying it flat to dry would probably be okay. But the dryer, I think that would be a no-go for me. And the price is definitely way too much. I always complain about the price, so I think $11 for this is like extremely high. I know today's market is high in yarn, but you know, I think that they would have been okay knocking it down a few dollars, which right now at the making of the video I said it is on sale for $7.69. Do I think it's worth $7.69? Well, that would depend on what I was going to make with it. Let's talk about the pros of it. Now, I do think it's a very beautiful yarn. I think the color transition is very beautiful. Well, for this particular color, I do not know about the others. I can only assume that they're probably similar. They do have a rainbow one. I'm not sure how it will transition out, but the other ones I can only assume they look like they would transition quite well into a nice gradient, you know, subtle transition, but yet still noticeable. I think it's beautiful the way it transitions. I think it's extremely soft. I think that it is very nice stitch definition. I do, like I said, I mentioned, I do not think that would work well for any item that you wanted to have a drape on it. It's just not that type of yarn that's going to give you a drape. I think that this would be great for if you don't mind laying flat to dry. I think it would make a very pretty blanket, because I definitely wouldn't put it into the dryer. I wouldn't do it. But I mean, it says you can do it. So, but you saw the results. You can take those results as you will. I think that it would make nice scarves and hats. I think that it would make nice, maybe nice garments that you wouldn't want. You know, it's not going to be stiff, you know what I mean? But it's just not going to have tons of drape on it, you know? So, you know, I think it would be good for, you know, specific garments, you know, that were, you know, depending on your design that you had in mind. Maybe you want a garment that doesn't have lots of drape, but you want a lot of stitch definition. Definitely, yeah, this would be one to go for. And do I like it? Yes, I think it's very pretty. I think that you know, like I said though, it's just me thinking it. I just think it's more of a bulky fiving, and it's definitely not roving style. I do think it's priced too high. Would I buy it again? I would buy it again, yes, but only if I had a certain project in mind. I think the colors bear a strong resemblance, a few of them, to their Lion Brand Mandala Ombre. Actually, a very strong resemblance to those, but the yarn is not the same, because the ombre is not a Mandala Ombre is not a blown yarn. It's just and it's not as soft as this. This is, you know, I got to give it that. It's extremely soft. So yeah, I like it. I think it's too much, but I would buy it on sale at like $7 or something, which is still pretty expensive. But then again, if I'm going to classify it, which I said if I was going to classify it, I would classify it as a bulky 5, then 260 yards of a bulky 5 for $7 isn't bad, you know. That's not a bad price. But yeah, I'd buy it again. I'm thinking about getting that rainbow one and seeing what it looks like. All the colors are pretty. They got this orange one here, pretty blue one. I already told you earlier what they had. They're all pretty. I'm thinking about maybe getting a little bit more and maybe doing a hat and scarf set. I think it would be nice for that. That's probably would be what I would do with it. It's not a yarn I would go out and buy all the time unless I had a certain project in mind for it. It would make a beautiful blanket, but then again, you have to think about, a lot of people want to be able to wash and dry their blankets. You see them want it look like wash and dried. So if that's something what doesn't bother you, it's going to make a beautiful blanket. That's it. So that's my thoughts. I like it. I would buy it again for a specific project, only on sale if it was like $7 or something. I would never pay $11 for it. That's extremely overpriced. But hey, what yarn isn't overpriced nowadays? Really, most of them, I guess. Not all of them, but most of them are. Anyways, opinion based. Lion Brand. I like it. It's a nice yarn. I just think, what do I know though? I'm just Bagoday. That's just my thoughts on it. Now, if you've tried this yarn, please let me know what you think about it in the description box. I'm curious to hear what you think about it. Remember, I like it. I think it's a nice yarn. It just had a few little flaws of, like I mentioned, price being one of them. Weight being another one of them, like classification, and I just don't know where they get off saying it's roving. But like I said, they are a yarn company. They probably know more than me. I would assume that they do. So if they say it's a roving, it's a roving. That's it. I'm gonna go. Pretty nice yarn. It's beautiful, beautiful transition in color, very soft, and I will buy it again for certain projects. All right. Bye, everybody. Remember, let me know if you tried it, okay? I'll see you guys on my next video.